but really the point of today is just to do an overview of the EDA awards for the 2023 conference, as we have made a few changes to the program again, based on feedback from our members, based on board discussions and kind of, how last year went. We did make some significant changes last year, and we're keeping some of them, and we're changing some other things up. So if you have any questions throughout the presentation, please just either type them in the chat or let me know by raising your hand in the Zoom call, or just save them till the end and we can have a Q&A right at the end of the session. So I'll jump right into it. So, and for those of you who don't know me, I'm Ben Young, one of the board members of EDA, and I'm the co-chair of the awards program this year, joined with Peter Casarella, who's not able to join us here today. But we're just going to go through the awards here. So for 2023, sorry, I'm just trying to get to the next slide there. We now have 4 categories instead of the usual 3. So in the past, we've done things like, the traditional 3 categories of economic development being business investment attraction, community economic development, things like that. We changed it last year to a few different ones, and this year we have added a 4th category. So I will go into detail about each of the categories, but just so you know, there still also is the 3 community size groups within each category. So that being small, medium, large, based on the population of your community or region that you are submitting the project for. So the first project category is for regional collaboration partnership. This one is the same as last year. And really the category is intended to be projects that are based on a partnership. And so where the strategic partnership or collaboration is the key contributing factor to the success of the project and to the outcomes of the project. So that can be a wide range of different types of projects, whether it be tourism or investment attraction or whatever kind of thing within economic development. But the key point of this project is for the collaboration and the partnership being what really made it a success. And so when you're thinking about your submission and how you want to write your submission, you're wanting to really touch on that point of why the partnership or the collaboration was the key to your success. The next category is economic development renewal project. Again, another one from last year. Really about transforming a vacant or an underutilized asset into a driver of economic development activity in your community. So this can be downtown revitalization, commercial revitalization, retail. It can be, taking an old warehouse and finding a key investor to, again, drive economic activity in your region or in your community. And really just revitalizing something within your community to be a driver of economic development activity. The third category, and this one is a new one for this year, is the innovative approach to economic development. And so this, again, allows for a wide range of types of projects, but we're looking for something innovative, something new, that something hasn't been done before. And, really, when you're writing your submission for this, if you're submitting in this category, tell us, how it's new, how it's different. The world has changed, with the pandemic, with inflation, with, rising costs of doing business. Economic developers have had to shift how we do our job as well. So we're looking to see that, the new types of things that we've seen in the last couple of years, and looking to have people share like best practices of new approaches to economic development. So again, a wide category allowing for a lot of different types of projects, but we're really hoping to see some of those really neat new initiatives that maybe had never been done before, and you're wanting to share your success with your colleagues here in EDA. And then the 4th category is a new one, but you'll probably be familiar with this type of category: marketing for economic development outcomes. What we heard from a lot of our members is that while EDAC does give out marketing awards, a lot of the smaller communities don't attend the EDAC conference. They don't have the budget to do that, or they're not going to that conference. They're always going to EDA conference. So we wanted to provide this category to allow for those marketing campaigns to be part of our awards program this year. So again, there's the small, medium, large community within this category, but we're looking for the measurable outcomes from a marketing campaign. So like, it's great to see, nice new brochures, websites, things like that. But if you have measurables about the outcomes of it, that's what we're really looking for in the judging criteria. And I'm going to speak a little bit more to the judging criteria here in a moment, but just wanted to say this one was really based on member feedback, that people wanted to see marketing awards, or they had marketing or campaigns, promotional campaigns that just couldn't quite fit into one of the other categories. So that's why we've now added this category this year. Also, a slight update to some of the individual awards. Traditionally, we've done the Young Professional and then the Economic Development of the Year, Economic Developer of the Year. We've changed the Young Professional to be the Emerging Talent in Economic Development because we're not seeing as many submissions for people under that 35-year-old, threshold. And a lot of people who come into economic development, and many of you are aware of this, they come in, it's their second career, they're doing it after owning a business or things. So kind of the pool of potential candidates for 35 and under, I think, has dwindled, or we're just not seeing the submissions. So for emerging talent in economic development, we're just looking for someone who is less than 5 years in the field. So they've come into the field, they're new, age doesn't matter, but they're, that emerging talent, someone who's really moving and shaking the economic development field. The economic developer of the year. So now instead of having to be over 35, you have to have more than 5 years of experience, just so there's the two differences for the awards. And then as the previous years, we do have the President's Award, which is awarded by the president. We've also changed up a little bit of the judging criteria. It's not too different, but just based on, the shifting nature of the way we do business. Last year, we had implementation of ESG as a category for projects, but this time we're actually putting implementation of ESG as just part of the overall scoring criteria of all projects, but just worth 5 out of the 50 points. So all projects are scored on, a total of 50 points, outcomes being 20 of the 50. So again, we're really looking for how the outcomes of the project. That's the most important piece. And you want to really touch on that and highlight that in your abstract. Then creativity uniqueness is 10 points, effective use of media 10 points, stakeholder development is 5 points, and implementation of ESG is 5 points. Again, based on member feedback, we have increased the word count limit for the abstracts from 500 words to 750. A lot of people have said it was quite tough to fit their submission into 500 words. So we're giving you a few more, and also because now there's implementation of ESG, another judging factor, we're giving you 250 more words. It still is not a whole lot, so you have to be concise. You have to really just stick to the points. And on the website, there will be a tips for a good submission kind of document we're going to create in the next couple of days here, and it'll be posted on the website before you're able to submit, so you can have a look at that. But really just giving you tips on how to fit, your project within 750 words. Point form is fine. It doesn't have to be, an essay, well-written essay, just really hitting on the key points, the outcomes, the creativity, things like that. And I just wanted to highlight again that there are mandatory submission documents that are required. And in past years, it's been a little difficult to get everyone to submit everything that's required. And it's really not a whole lot that we're requiring of you. Things like logos or just like a quick one PowerPoint slide that's like a visual representation of your project. We give you the template. We just ask that you do that, because since, when we're at the conference, we're having the slideshow of all the projects and, submissions and things. We do need that kind of visual representation, and that's your chance for you to give us something. It doesn't have to be, properly, designed by a graphic designer or anything like that, but just your representation of it, because it does impact the quality of what is shown on the screen. Just an example here, last year, EDL submitted one for, that's on the left there with their project. One slide, kind of looks nice for one of the Edmonton projects. I didn't have anything, so we just took a screenshot of what was on their website. So you can see the difference of just showcasing your community. If you don't submit something, we're going to just do it for you, and it might not look as nice. So please do put in that effort to submit all the documents required, logos, things like that, because really we shouldn't be just pulling them from your website. You should be submitting them so that we can use them in the presentation with that kind of, you're agreeing to let us use it since you're submitting as part of the project. Other than that, there aren't really too many changes. It'll be the same kind of format. We will be still having, when you submit a project, you'll get the chance to judge other projects as well. Last year, it was kind of a pilot to see how it would go. And pretty much everyone who was part of that said they really enjoyed being able to see the scorecard and how projects are scored. It gave them a bit of insight into, their own submissions. So we will be continuing that again this year, and people who will get the chance to score a few more projects, because last time, again, just because it was a pilot, we wanted to keep it small. Some people only got 1 or 2, and so it was hard for them, I think, to really judge because they didn't have other ones to, kind of have a benchmark against. So if you're part of the judging, if you submitted a project, you'll get to probably score about 3 or 4 projects this year. So it is a great way to get membership engagement. It's not just one person or the awards chair doing all the scoring. We get a bit more, representation in the evaluation of the projects. Is judging optional or mandatory? I see a question from Eleanor. We're asking that everyone who submits a project provide someone within their organization, like an email address, that can participate in the judging. I think it's a great way to again, get more people looking at each of the projects, get a fair score of everything. It is not mandatory, but we're asking that everyone do participate. You know, we can't force people to do it, but if you're you have an hour at some point, you'll have a few weeks, you'll have a window of a few weeks between submission and when the scoring is complete. Only takes about, an hour to score 3 or 4 projects. And how do folks get involved as a judge? You do have to submit a project. That was the other question. So once you've submitted a project for one of the awards, you're then automatically part of the judging. And that's really all I had in terms of my presentation for today. Just going over a few of those changes, a few of the changes to the categories. We do appreciate all the feedback that people do give us as the awards program has evolved the last few years. And I encourage you to still give any feedback, any suggestions and things like that. And happy to answer any other questions anyone might have or any feedback.